I want to tell you how to tighten the strapping system on the Shaman Warrior, or anything that employs this webbing with the 2 points of tightening. So there's Velcro on the heel, and there's Velcro along the side in the instep. Now the first thing, I've been running in sandals for about a year and a couple months, and it's taken me a long time to learn how to make them feel like they're not going to fall off my feet, not slap the ground when I run, for my feet not to slide around inside of them. And there are a couple of really easy pointers to keep in mind when you're tightening them. The first is, they don't need to feel like shoes. So if that's going to feel sort of unusual at first, we expect our shoe to fit tight wherever it touches our foot, so we can like tighten the laces to improve that feel. Huaraches you don't want like that. That can lead to metatarsal problems and tendon problems. So the first thing is what goes between your toes and then comes into the back of the sandal. That main strap should actually be quite loose. You should be able to fit your fingers up underneath it when it's on your foot. You don't want it super tight. Notice how, like, when mine is here, it actually is a little bit bent, because I wear it loose, and so this other Velcro strap is what I use to tighten it. And so this first one you're going to want to leave a little bit loose, and so there's a lot of wiggle room there. I wouldn't worry about that so much, as long as it's not tight over your foot. You tighten that strap by pulling or loosening it through the hole right here, which also connects to the heel strap. So don't worry about that one, just make sure it's loose. The way you keep the sandal on is by holding your foot into the heel. And so you can control how far your foot goes forward by how tight the heel is. That's all this one does. You shouldn't be tightening the sandal with this. You're moving your foot forward and backward. So notice you don't move your foot forward and backward with the long strap. You move your foot forward and backward with the heel strap. The way you tighten the sandal is with this instep strap. So I would put it on loose at first, and even have the heel strap loose, and then make sure your foot is where you want it. So like the hole where the thong goes in between your toes should be right in the gap between your big toe and your first toe or your second toe. Not too far forward, not too far back. You don't want it underneath your foot, but you don't want it out in front either. So find that location, and then tighten it by this little suede strap right here. And so it should be comfortable, but not pressing down on your foot. It should again be snug, but not tight. And then again, if you want to move your foot back further because your toes are hanging off the front, then loosen up the strap if you want. If your heel is hanging off the back and you want to push your whole foot forward, you tighten this one up a little bit more. And then play around with it. Notice, as you wear it a little bit more, the leather is going to, if you have the leather ones, and also like the leather laces, or even without it, there's going to be a considerable amount of molding to your foot, and so you have to adjust them over time. And that adjustment will be in the direction of your specific foot. And so if you look at this, I've only got maybe 120, 130 miles or so on these, and it's already bowed a little bit. Because each time I step, it sort of bends a little bit, and that bend will eventually catch. And so now you can see the shape of my foot whenever you look at it. And so that's more foot or fit specific to my foot, which is pretty neat. I usually cut my sandals down to make them fit a little bit more snug, but since these ones are so thin, that molding happened really quickly. And so I'm actually not worried about wearing out the lacing on the bottom, because that's never going to touch anymore. It's going to continue to bend away because that's not where I land on my feet. I land on my foot sort of on the outside and then follow through along the front. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea about how to lace these, or at least get started. Be patient with it. It's not going to be perfect the first time, but once it feels good, you'll never forget how to do it.